My name is Mackenzie. I'm 17 and I identify as Blasian.
My name is Michaela. I'm 18. I identify as Black.
My name is Courtney. I'm 18 years old and I identify as Black.
My name is London. I'm 18 years old and I identify as Black.
I would say that I face like the angry black woman stereotype all the time. Every day I face like the loud black woman stereotype as well. I get told that like I'm overreacting or that I need to calm down and need to be quieter in situations where I'm not even like going up like that. But I also face like a lot of like microaggressions. Like I hear a lot, oh, you mix with your hair is so it's so nice. Like you have such good hair. Like what do you mix with? I've heard that. And just like little things like that. But I would say I face more microaggressions than like stereotypes.
I'd say the most common stereotype that I faced was the fact that I was not educated or I was not articulate. I tend to get, I guess, misconceptions that I am not smart and I can't do certain things.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I face way more microaggressions, and I would say racism, like on the level. Some microaggressions I face are like, you speak really eloquently, or you're really intelligent, and just the way it's said. And a lot of times with microaggressions, I don't realize that it's a microaggression or something said was wrong until later.
I will also agree as for me as well, as for my intelligence as well in the dance industry. I feel like I am sometimes overlooked because of the fact that I am Black.
For me, I wouldn't say it was something bad directed towards me. I know they didn't mean any harm, but kind of just like the whole little sly things like, oh, you're a lot smarter than I thought, or oh, I didn't know you were this educated, or I didn't know you were this articulate, and you speak very properly. I think it's just been one of those situations continuously that kind of just has changed my perspective on the way people view other black people, and kind of just trying to change that narrative.
The one of them that I can like specifically pinpoint would be I had a PCC sub that told me that my name was nice because my kind have like very hard to pronounce names apparently, but it's kind of hard to like separate whether or not that's a stereotype or microaggression against black people or against black women because they're two different things. I would like to say that like I went up and I was like, upset about it, but honestly, when you're actually in these situations, you say like you see videos and you're like, "Oh, if it was me, I would have did this, I would have did that." But when you're actually in that situation, you're stuck. Like when someone starts petting you like a dog and saying, "Oh my God, I love your hair," starts touching your hair and petting you, you would like to say, "Oh, I would slap their hand," but when it's happening, you freeze because it's like I can't believe that somebody would be doing this. And also in a lot of situations like where I work with a lot of white people. So it's just me. And it becomes like a scary situation if you're the only one there because when something happens, you don't want the situation to become unsafe for you because you're by yourself. So a lot of times you just kind of take it, or like you said earlier, you don't even realize that you've just been in a situation until after you're like, dang, like I could have said something, I should have said something. But most times you just let it go because that's the smartest and safest thing for you to do.
Most of the time, I try to teach somebody. Like, let's say if someone is ignorant and they are being racist or saying something disrespectful to black people, I tend to try to teach them instead of just taking the high road and not really expecting the most out of someone, especially if I don't know them. So I would just say, as for right now, I just learned how to, kind of let people do what they want to do because it's not my job to change everyone's mind. Now, if somebody is open to understanding and hearing, then that's something different. But me forcing you to understand or get my black perspective, I just think that's not something that's like, you know what I'm saying, relevant.
I kind of just take it, laugh it off from like, oh, thank you, or whatever, because I don't know what to say. And even if it's crossing my mind at the time, like, wow, this is one of those situations that people talk about, like you said. I just don't know how to respond. I don't know how to react because I don't know if it's safe for me. I don't know if that would be the time or place to talk about it. And it could be like a learning experience for the person, who doesn't realize or does realize that they're saying something, but like you said, it might not be the safest opportunity to do so.
I just wish people would understand that it's not okay. Like just as you want to be respected as a person, I want to be respected as well. And just simple things like petting my hair and stuff like that. Like I've been pet before. Like I've had a white person come up to me and literally pet my hair and say, "Oh my gosh, is this real?" Like I'm not a dog. I'm not a freaking monkey. Like I'm a person. So I would just say respect me as much as you want to be respected.
Having little comments said throughout the day, throughout the week, or whatever, they build up, and it could even damage the way you perceive yourself. I know for me, some things that people have said, it gets to you after a point, and also not only does it damage Black women, but the whole generation it can damage, and the Black community in itself. So it causes way more problems than people realize, and it just being one little comment.
Kind of wanted to like add on to the it changes how you view yourself, because even me, like with what I identify as racially, when I was younger I always identified as Blasian, but at some point somebody, like people started like making that who I was, if that like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like people started like making that who I was, like oh, Kenzie's mixed, Kenzie has good hair, Kenzie's
Right.
mixed. So I actually had a teacher recently that told me people are so scared to just be black, just be black. So for a long time, I didn't even identify as Blasian anymore. I just identified as black because I was like tired of being like. Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
it changes how you view yourself.
It
And like
does.
when people, it came to a point where when people didn't know that I was mixed or like they couldn't tell, it almost hurt my
Took
feelings a little
away.
bit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say?
because it took
Because
away
it
from my
became a part of
identity.
who I was. So I wish people just understood how harmful that is. You know?
I agree too. Yeah, it can take, like you said, it's taken away from your identity when people don't realize that. And I feel like there needs to be more safe spaces for Black women to express that and not just be too, what's the word? Like they're saying,
Angry, overreacting.
yeah,
like,
overreacting and all that. Yeah.
I feel like they can do that by overall just having more positive conversation. I feel like a lot of people tend to only have things to say, like negative things about anyone, about anything, especially on the news. Like all you really see is bad stuff. So I would just say, like, learn to have more positive conversations. And then once you get there, you can also learn to enlighten the people that you're around rather than always saying something else. Like it's okay to have, you know, good conversations. It's okay to have enlightening conversations and friendships and relationships.
And tagging on to the positivity, I feel like it should be definitely more positive conversation. And not only that, but I also feel like people need to start including people more. People need to start educating themselves or taking the time to educate themselves without feeling like another person of color should feel like they have to educate you or you're going to them for education when you should be going towards those sources yourself. And so I just feel like it's not our job to educate you. I just feel like everybody else should just be educating themselves if they would like to know more on the subject.
The advice that I would give other Black women struggling with the same things that I've been struggling with is just keep your head up, sis, because unfortunately it's not going nowhere.
For anyone who is going through anything or feel like that is being put on them, I would just say know that you are who you are and you're meant to be here, and wake up every day knowing that's what it is. If you feel embarrassed, if you feel, you know, humiliated, whatever the case may be, always keep your head up. Don't ever let anybody make you feel like you're not enough. Always come with your best foot forward because it's worth it.
Use the negativity to, I guess, push yourself even further to kind of prove them wrong. And whether that's in your education, your studies, your sports, I feel like you can channel that and use that as motivation to just keep going.